What the fuck is this shit? Oh, come on. You just fucking ripped it off. There's pirates. What the shit? Day at the beach. Todd's new friend is a chair. That's a dog's ass. Lala and her spastic butterflies. Charlie Ox and the haunted child. Pickles the cat rides a bike and he's gonna haunt your children. What the fuck is this shit? That child is literally in the sun and the shade at the same time. Her equilibrium's fucked up. That ain't no secret that it's a princess. It says so right on her crown. You know, Magical Kingdom, of course, because they're wearing bargain bin Halloween costumes. Murphy Family Christmas. That's my kind of shit right there. Oh, Josh's Spooky Adventure. Fuck yeah, I want to watch this one. Fuck you. Tell me the story. Oh, God, Josh. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Josh. He was a cute little fellow with big blue eyes and a tow head of blonde hair, which he often wore in a spiked up sort of fashion, like this kid. He thought he looked very cool with spiked hair, but his brothers and sisters thought he looked like a dick and frequently told him so. However, Josh had a mind of his own. He had to, because he was the littlest in a very large family of 8 Mormon children. You may have heard about Josh and his family in another bedtime story called All About Olivia. I have not. If you haven't read that story yet, you really should, because it explains a lot about why Josh was the way he was. So you're saying this is a sequel? I got in Lion King 2 and I don't know who Mufasa is. Okay. Anyway, Josh had 7 brothers and sisters. Some of them might think they were called the Shay Carl friggin' Tard family. I don't know what the fuck they were called. Shay Tards, that's what it was. Their names were Ethan, Chloe, Matthew, Emma, Nicholas, Molly, and Haley. But they do not really play a large part of this story, so I don't know why I included them. They were all older than Josh and seemed to get more attention and special things than Josh did. For example, Ethan played soccer and got new soccer outfits every spring. Chloe was taking ballet lessons and always needed new ballet shoes, tutus, all that girly ballet shit. The rest of the children all had some sort of activity after school that kept them busy, and a new outfits or whatever sport or drugs. It was pretty crazy. Josh was not involved in anything except for kindergarten, which he detested. He begged his mother to let him play soccer or baseball, or at least t-ball for crying out loud, but she said he was too little and would just have to wait until next year. Josh was not at all pleased by this and grew more and more belligerent and headstrong every day. He certainly was a determined little fella, which was probably a result of being the youngest in a large family of Mormon children and feeling left out a lot of the time. So, Josh decided to do something about it, and this is what happened. He made a book. Chapter 2. One evening, while he was elbowing his 3 brothers over rights to the bathroom sink to brush his teeth, he formulated a plan. It was probably the worst sort of plan a little boy could come up with, as we shall soon see. Probably pissed in the shampoo bottle. He decided to go out on his own, after everyone else had gone to bed, and explore this scary old haunted house at the end of the street. No one had lived in this house since old Mrs. McCready had died. Of course her name is Mrs. McCready. That's the most fucking old, kid name ever. Whatever. And it was said that her ghost could still be seen there on certain haunted moonlit nights. Since it was a perfect, full moonlit night, Josh thought this would be the ideal opportunity to check things out. So, he brushed his teeth, ignored his rude brothers, put on his PJs, and climbed into bed. He only had to wait about an hour before hearing his brother's soft snores and the resounding clicks of his parents' door closing. Thank God he didn't hear the thumps. Then he quietly crept down the stairs, dressed in full ghost hunting gear, his small heart beating against his chest just a little too fast because of his high blood pressure. By the time Josh reached the end of the street, he could clearly see the old haunted house because of the full moon. Everything else was dark and scary, and all the lights were off at the neighbors' houses. No one has the porch lights on when they're kids. I don't know. He heard an owl's lonely cry off in the distance. There's it is. It's him. And secretly wished he was back in his nice warm bed with his dog Pepper cuddled at his feet. But he was determined to go on, so up the stairs he went. He had a loaded gun with him, just in case. Just as he was about to knock on the front door, it mysteriously creaked open of its own accord. Now you and I both know there's no such things as ghosts. And how dare you make assumptions? And scary houses are best visited by a group of good friends on Halloween, not by a 5-year-old out alone in the middle of the night, because then he'll run into something he doesn't want to see. So, can't really blame him for being completely terrified at this point. But he bravely continued on, not knowing what would befall him. Suddenly, what looked to him exactly like Mrs. McCready's ghost appeared at the top of the dark stairs. She was dressed all in white and had wisps of long, gray hair growing out of her ghostly head. She hung over the banister and said in a very scary, whispery sort of voice, "Who are you, and what do you want in my house?" Well, Josh ran out of there like a ball shot out of a cannon and raced home as fast as he could. He didn't even notice or hear the laughter coming from inside the haunted house. He ran up the porch to his house, gun still fully loaded in hand, and tried to push the front door open, but it wouldn't budge. He had inconveniently forgotten to factor this into this nighttime escape. So, first he yelled for his mother and father. Then, he yelled for his 7 brothers and sisters. Finally, in desperation, he yelled for his dog Pepper. Pepper to come and save him from the certainly appeared to be an early death. Good old Pepper. He yelled so loud and so long that he eventually lost his voice. Everyone in his family woke up with all of this commotion, and it was only a matter of minutes before his parents, his 7 brothers and sisters, and his good old dog Pepper came bounding down the stairs to discover what had happened. His parents sent Ethan, the oldest, over to check out the situation at the old haunted house and brought Josh inside. After a stern lecture on the reason that little children do not go out by themselves at night, his parents gave him 6 oatmeal raisin cookies and 2 glasses of milk? Holy shit! It was like 11 o'clock probably. That kid is gonna be drinking 2 glasses of milk and eating 6 cookies? What the fuck, dude? Childhood obesity is a real fucking thing, bro. Once he had consumed all of his delicious treats, his voice suddenly returned and he began to tell them what had happened. But just then, Ethan came in the door and he had a big grin on his face. You know the old McCready house? Ethan said. Well, it just happens that there are 2 old folks who do live there. They just spread rumors and have a spooky ghost decoration hanging from their balcony to scare people off, because they like to go to bed early. Josh was enormously relieved to hear this and was able to eat 3 more oatmeal raisin cookies and 1 more glass of milk. This child has just eaten 9 cookies and drank 3 glasses of fucking milk. Holy fuck. How? This kid is 5. This kid needs to relax. What the shit? Holy fuck. Once everyone has gone back upstairs, Josh put his PJs back on that didn't fit right anymore, and his parents tucked him into his nice, warm bed. They put Pepper on top of the comforter at the foot of his bed and kissed Josh goodnight in all of his fucking cookie-crumbed lips. As he slowly drifted off to sleep, Josh decided that from now on, maybe being the littlest and having 7 big brothers and Mormon sisters wasn't such a bad thing after all. The end.